This is the prediction of May-June 2026 of Paper 2H, Edexcel IGCSE. We are going to look at the main areas that you have to prepare so that you can be able to get well anchored in order to prepare for that particular exam. The first thing that you need to notice is that you'll be provided with a few formulas, some of terms in an arithmetic series. You'll be provided with a quadratic formula which you can use to solve quadratic equation, trapezium area. You will be also under trigonometry. You'll be having sine rule and also cosine rule. And then we have also volume of a cone, surface area of a cone, volume of a prism, volume of a cylinder, and curved surface area of the cylinder. And lastly, we have the volume of a sphere. Those are the only formulas that I provided during this exam. And you need to know how to use them. So some of the areas that you really ought to prepare is to work out question to do with indices. Those are areas that you can be asked there. Also simplifying expressions whereby you are given indices and then brackets involved, especially when you have bracket and powers. In that case, you remember you need to multiply every power that is inside here by 3, and then you can be able to simplify that. So basically, those are the areas that you really need to take note of so that you can be able to prepare for this particular exam. So looking further into other areas that you can be tested, we can talk of Venn diagrams, finding intersection, union, and also finding number of elements. Of course, we know number of elements is represented by this. Like for this one, you are asked number of elements for P intersection not in K. So you need to prepare on how to answer those questions. And of course, I'll be going through this and you can be able to check the description so that you can be able to access the link that is going to take you straight to our Patreon page, whereby we can be able to download the solution of this. We have also to prepare on compound interest, and that is appreciation and also depreciation. A question can be tested from there, how to use this particular formula that we are having at this particular point. Amount is equals to principal into 1 plus r over 100 raised to power n, where this is the number or the period of years. You can also be asked question to do with functions. When a change is taken inside a bracket, we know it's affect x values and it does the opposite what the function is telling you. But if the change is taking place outside the bracket, you can see now 10 is outside the bracket, so meaning only y values are going to be affected. And since we are adding 10, so we're going to take -3 plus 10, but the x value or the x coordinate is going to remain the way it is. But if the change is taking place inside the bracket, it means that only x values are going to be affected in that case. And at that given point, you can see now if you are told 3 times x, you are going to do exactly what the function is telling you. So meaning that you are going to divide by 3 instead of multiplying. You do exactly what the function, what you are told to do. If it was x minus 3, it means we were to go to the x coordinate, we add 3. You just do exactly the opposite. Another area that you really need to be well prepared to handle is question to do with direct and inverse proportions. You can be asked that, and you can see here you are given values of h and m, but you are told that m varies directly, so we can be able to express that way. But these two variables that are given here, m is 4 and h is equals to 0.5, will enable you to find the value of k. And once you find the value of k, you can be able to rewrite the equation again. Then you can be able to find the missing or the variable that you are told to find. Then we under simplifying that we have mentioned, you can be given simple fractions, and then you are supposed to express as a single fraction. So that is also another area that is very, very critical area that has to be really tested in paper 2H. of 2026. We have expanding brackets, and of course you have to be very careful when you expand. You can just distribute this 4x here, and then you expand the bracket thereafter. That's also what you need to look into. Finding inverse of functions, and is also another area that is very prime to be tested. Finding inverse, you need to remember all the steps for finding inverse, as well as finding inverse of a quadratic equation, which I've shown in this process. So if you like to access the solution of this in our Patreon page, you can be able to go straight, and then you can be able to access it. So moving into the rest of the part, so that we can be able to see what we are expected to do, or what to prepare on. Let me just reduce this so that you can see everything properly. Finding domain of inverse and range, making subjects of the formula are very important areas to work on. Solving quadratic inequalities is an area that you cannot afford to not to prepare on, because this is an area that can never miss. So you have really to ensure that you know how to solve quadratics. Remember how to work out question to do with polygons, and you need to remember that sum of interior angles of a polygon is usually n minus 2 times 180, and the exterior angle of a regular polygon is 360 over the number of sides. So if you are given now a question like this, you can be able to really work it out. Sets and angles, angle properties, circle theorem, an area that is very important. Similar triangles and similar shapes also is another important area to work on. For instance, here students were asked to find the length BC. Then you can see we are going to say BC of RQ, because these two sides are corresponding, should be equals to 4 over 12. So if you can be able to work it out, you can see that's exactly what you'll have. Don't forget on how to work out question to do with the vectors. If you are going to be sitting for that exam, you may be asked to do question with vectors, so you have to be well prepared to answer questions on that. Expressing as a single fraction, also that is finding the LCM, factorizing, then you can be able to see what cancels out and what remains. And we can also talk about area to do with bounds, upper and lower bounds of a variable. Also is another area that is very key and critical to be tested. Vectors, column vectors, finding position vectors, finding equation of lines, equation of perpendicular lines and parallel lines. Also you have to be able to work out that. Don't forget to look at thirds also, because thirds also is an area that never misses in paper 2H of Edexcel 2025. Pythagoras theorem, area of perimeter, and area of circles, area of semicircles, arc length, also or perimeter of sectors, another area that is very crucial. So we have also what we call differentiation. Of course, here you are supposed to find the the stationary point of the curve is that, and then you're supposed to find the value of A, another area that is quite important. Don't forget also to look at sequence and series, especially how to find sum of n terms, finding common difference, finding the first term when you're given an information. So you'll also be asked questions to do with sequences. So that makes the end of the prediction and the main areas and concept that you really ought to prepare. And if you can manage to go through all those areas, you can just go ahead and check our Patreon page so that you can be able to download this paper and attempt it. Ensure that you are going to ensure as you are attempting it, you are timing yourself so that you can be able to check, will you be able to manage all the question within the 2 hours that is provided for this paper 2H. So let's stop there. Check in the link in the description so that you can be able to access that paper. And if also you did not watch the paper 1 prediction, you can also check the link in the description there so that you can be able to access the prediction for paper 1. Welcome to our tutorial of Prof Learn YouTube channel. In this video, we're